Kevin Durant, I love thee. Oh, how may I count the ways? Well, I can count this. It's 5 consecutive wins for the Phoenix Suns at a very vital time of the season, the end of the season. It's 6 consecutive wins for the Phoenix Suns with Kevin Durant in a Suns uniform and active on the floor. They're 6-0 with him out there. On a weird start time, a 4 p.m. local time, Arizona time start against the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Phoenix Suns do it again. They pull out another big, vital victory, Matthew, and things are looking pretty solid. Looks like we're going to be locked into that 4th seed. We'd have to have a really shitty final week of the season to lose that.
Yeah, Kevin Durant, what the hell?
He's not that
oh
basketball.
My God, dude. Just him just finishing the game for us. It just was insane. I mean, if we don't have that guy, we don't win the game, right?
It's tough because it's one of those weird games. Again, when you play Oklahoma City and you play Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, you know that they're going to get to the line. We think back to just 2 weeks ago, and that's exactly how it was. This was almost the same blueprint of the game 2 weeks ago, in which the Suns go up by 15 early in the game, and then the third quarter, they just start chipping away at the line. The difference is, in this game, the Suns have Kevin Durant and had the ability to score every time the Thunder went to the line. So it wasn't just, a 7-0 run by the Thunder and it all came from the free throw line. That's the difference.
Yeah, I mean, KD helps in every way on the court. He really does. Not just the corner threes. He hit the 2 in a row in the block, but just DA's down low by himself most of the end of the game. And, all you do is catch the ball and dunk the ball. You know what I mean? Because everyone's just like, Book, KD. But then, we love Book. But, man, KD just having the ball is just something different.
It's something different, and it's something that we'll definitely talk about on this edition of the Suns Jam Session podcast. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another show. Make sure you hit the thumbs on.
I just looked over and you weren't moving.
I know, I'm not moving. I'm going to do this whole podcast, and I'm not going to not move my mouth.
Do you have a little, what are they, like the little doll?
I got it. I'm a ventriloquist. So I'm just going to do the entire podcast talking through my ventriloquist wall. So, but plenty to talk about. We appreciate everyone who's joining us live after the game as per usual. Or if you're listening to this at another time, again, we appreciate you too. If you're listening to this in your little AirPods or your Beats by Dre and you're going for your morning run, good for you. Way to get up and go get it. Hashtag Nike, hashtag just do it. But make sure you give us a thumbs up if you're watching along live on YouTube. And if you're listening to the podcast, please go ahead and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. We truly appreciate it. In fact, Matthew, we do have a new review.
What? It's been forever.
It's been forever. It's been since March 4th since we've had a review. And this is from Alberto Sauce, who I think is actually live in the chat right now. It says, favorite Suns podcasts. You guys do a great job of keeping Suns fans engaged and having fun. Even when things aren't so hot with the team, it's awesome to know we have such a strong community of people who all love the Suns, the team as much as we do. I especially love the drops and the subreddit stakeouts. There's also nothing like celebrating a win with the fellas. Creep up. Keep up the great work. Creep up. But thank you, Alberto Sauce. We really appreciate that review on Apple Podcasts.
Thank you so
Anybody
much.
else, please go do that. Do that thing.
Do it now.
Do it right now. Just turn off the show and go do it. So on that note, it's a Sunday evening. I'm going to pop open a nice cold beer. Smoke them if you got them, Jamsters. Drink them if you got them. Pop them if you got them. And let's talk about the Suns' 5th win in a row. Win for your Phoenix Suns. They ultimately put the Oklahoma City Thunder to sleep by beating them with a final score of 128-118, which brings me to my first question for my good friend Matthew here.
Matthew, I got to ask.
Matthew, I got to ask. Before the game began, obviously they're doing the intros. And Dwayne Rankin, who, if you guys don't follow on Twitter, I highly, highly recommend doing so. He said that it was a toss-up between who got the louder boos between Kevin Durant and Devin Booker in the pregame intros. Edge to Durant, but there's no question who got the cheers, and that was Chris Paul. So I ask you, are you surprised by who was cheered and who was booed during the intros before this game?
Not really, just because of how things are in the NBA. I mean, we all hate the players that leave and want to go into championship, but then the guys that come in, I guess, like Chris Paul, and turn this franchise around in a way, take SGA and that team under his wing and get to the playoffs. Like that's something you cheer. KD leaving, coming back, loves everybody else. Everybody loves him, but the fans, they're always going to boo him. And nowadays it's like you kind of think like, well, maybe these fans understand now how it is and why you didn't want to play with Russell Westbrook and why, you want to go win a championship. You don't want to waste your time here in OKC, but they don't. They're mad they left. You left them. But then we have guys like, Mikal Bridges that love this place, but see you later in a trade. You know what I mean? So we got to realize, like, it's okay if someone wants to leave a team. If Booker were to leave, we would be like, okay, it makes sense. If we didn't do what we did to get Chris Paul here and turn this franchise around, be like, it's all right, Book. We understand, all right? Just go. It's not an Eric Bledsoe thing. We understand exactly why you want to leave here.
Eric Bledsoe. Oof. So long ago. I look at it like this. If the Phoenix Suns went to the NBA Finals 2 years ago, and then like the next opportunity Devin Booker had, and he left in free agency versus a trade, we'd probably have a little spite as a fan base. We'd be hurt. And I think that it was very astute that Eddie Johnson acknowledged that during the broadcast, where he said a lot of these boos that you're hearing from the Oklahoma City Thunder faithful are "we miss you" boos. It's like, we miss you, boo. And that's where they're at because he left after getting them to a finals appearance, just like the Phoenix Suns went through a couple seasons after that. It wasn't directly after that, but after a couple seasons, of not being productive, and he was a free agent, he hitched his wagon and went to Golden State, and that hurt that fan base. And it is interesting how you have Kevin Durant coming back, and they said it's only the 5th time that he's played in front of the fans in Oklahoma City. In fact, Kevin Durant has yet to play in front of the fans in Golden State, which will be interesting because that could be a Game 3 first-round matchup potentially, given the way that everything's kind of shaken out.
Yeah, I was going to say, or maybe Game 1, but I think the Suns got 4.
No, I'm pretty sure we have 4. But that being said, then you have Chris Paul, who spent 1 season there, and you cheer him, right? And I guess it's kind of like the Phoenix Suns when Dario Saric comes home, right?
The Saric smoke break.
He's an elder statesman. There you go. There you go, Jamsters. I snuck in a Dario.
Yeah, whoever asked for it before and John didn't give it to you, there it is.
Boom. Yeah. Like randomly, like 5 games ago, somebody in the chat's like, "Can we get a Dario drop?" I'm like, no.
Yeah, you're like, what?
What? We will play them on April 2nd. But when Dario comes back, when those elder statesmen come back who impacted the franchise in a positive manner and weren't here very long, you're going to acknowledge them. You're going to cheer for them. But when you have Kevin Durant and you have Devin Booker, you have enough enemies to boo at, right?
Yes, dude. It doesn't make sense to me a whole lot. I mean, from their side, I guess, like, that's, if I was an OKC fan, I'd be like, all right, maybe I would understand, but I don't understand from this side. But it is funny when the 1-year guys come back and they're just like giving applause, and Saric and Mikal and Cameron Johnson, all those guys that leave. I feel like Phoenix now as an organization, anybody that leaves, it's like we love those guys. Even like Jay Crowder got some cheers. You know what I mean? So
Javon Carter,
all
Elia Kobo. There's no love for Elia Kobo. No one even knows where he's at. I do want to talk about Kevin Durant, but I want to give a shout out to Jam, a loyal elite Jamster in our chat. If you want to become an elite Jamster, hit that join button on the YouTube channel. Drop $20 to ask this question, and I think it's a good question. So yes, Jam, we truly appreciate it. Whoa, Matthew, we're in the middle of a goddamn show. You need to have a little respect. But he says, what are your thoughts on Shamet? Makes 25% of a max deal.
Oh, yeah! Shabba-labba ding-dong!
Sneaky.
Yeah, I don't think that if you joined the show tonight, you thought the first two drops were going to be Dario Saric and Landry Shamet. But Landry Shamet in this game, 12 minutes played. He was 2 of 5 from beyond the arc. He had 7 points, and that was pretty much it. He had 1 free throw made as well. He's had a couple DNPs over the last 2 games. So what are your thoughts on good old Landry there, Matthew?
It's weird to see him back. I think Monty, it's been 2 games, but I think Monty wanted to see what he had in him, and along with Ish too. It's okay. I mean, he did have the 7 points, played some good defense, I thought. The only thing is, I still don't trust him. Someone did comment that Cameron Payne needs therapy. I think also Shamet might need some therapy too. Yeah, Michael called. Shamet's all right. It's just the schizophrenia we don't need in our lineup. And he's a guy that was kind of going to disappear when Kevin Durant got here. And he kind of did. And then now he's kind of back, and it's kind of like, I don't know if I want that much Shamet, but I mean, 2 for 5, it's a regular Shamet night, and he's not earning his max deal at all. He's not. And I think we've known that for a while now. So we just kind of hope he can make a couple threes and play good defense, but he won't get, I don't see him playing a lot of playoff minutes, if that's really the question, right? I mean, you don't want him to play those playoff minutes in crucial games, but it's tough to watch him now right now.
Well, I'll say this. Landry Shamet is currently on a 4-year deal for $42.5. He is playing next year for $10.25. It's really not that much. It's a highly tradable contract. The next year is not guaranteed. The next year after that is a club option before he becomes an unrestricted free agent. What is the one reason why Landry Shamet played tonight? Foul trouble.
Paul? Yeah, Chris Paul foul trouble,
exactly.
Right? And
Chris
then Campaign comes in and he's terrible.
And then and Campaign had 5 fouls.
Yeah, but he wasn't. Yeah.
So the only reason, it was both. So the only reason we saw Landry Shamet tonight is quite simply because of foul trouble. He is your break glass in case of emergency type of guy off the bench. Him, Ish Wainwright too. Both those guys, welcome to the C squad. That's who they are. Now, that being said, and to Jam's question here, what are our thoughts on Shamet, noting that he makes 25% of a max deal? You don't want a guy who's making $10.25 million to be on your C squad. So it's going to be interesting how the offseason treats Landry Shamet. Because to your point, Matthew, he's not going to get a lot of playoff minutes. He's going to be hey, we're in foul trouble. We need to get 5 minutes here in the second quarter. Let's bring in Landry, let him jack up a couple threes. If he makes them, that's fantastic. If he doesn't, whatever. But I definitely see him as somebody who won't be a member of this team next season, simply because the money's too high and the production's too low. Obviously, he's been very injured this season. Since he came back, he's only played in 5 games. He's shooting 38% from beyond the arc in those 5 games. We've talked about his tenacity on defense and his willingness to try to be visible on that type of or that side of the ball. But ultimately, he's C-squadding it. It's him, it's Ish, it's Jock Landale. It's these guys that you're just not going to see very much of unless you absolutely have to. And tonight was one of those nights where Monty said, hey, we absolutely have to.
Yeah, and it wasn't too bad. It's hard to watch these guys, right? Just seeing them out there moving around, you're like, dude, just calm the fuck down. Like him and Campaign, it's just like you're ruining everything. Like you're not in the flow. You're not. And
that's a good way to put it.
That's just the way it is when I see him out there. It's like, oh, it's just kind of irritated a little bit to see him out there and handling the ball so much.
So speaking of flow, it's one thing that I really noticed at the front end of this game was the way that Phoenix would kind of get into their offense. It's on that border, if you will. Like it almost looks lackadaisical. It's very deliberate. It's very kind of slow. It's very calculated. And with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker and Paul and Ayton and Kogi out there, that's what you kind of saw in that first quarter is how they were navigating it, how they weren't getting into their sets too quick, how they weren't playing frantic. So you're right. When Cameron Payne comes in and Landry Shamet come in, you notice a sense of urgency that doesn't even need to exist there. The best way I'll put it is I used to have a barista who used to work in the morning in the coffee shop at the restaurant at the hotel that I used to manage. And she would always just be moving a mile a minute. And there'd be a line of like 3 people. And she would be like really frantically moving and not with a lot of purpose. Like, if you're going to do an action, you have to be purposeful when you have a line of people out the door. Anyone who's ever worked with a line there, it's like you don't want to make any false movements, if you will, because it just costs you time. And I used to always tell her, be like, hey, slow down, because you're not accomplishing anything by being frenetic. All you're doing is you're making everybody who's standing in line watching you feel a negative energy and feel like you're busier than you are. Like, what are you doing? Well, I'm just making this person's coffee, and then this person's food's up in the window. I'm like, yeah, that's not that big of a deal. Like, just walk there and then walk there. Don't like walk here, throw this down, walk over there, slam this, walk back here, slam this. And that's what we kind of feel when we get some of these guys like Campaign, like Landry Shamet in the lineup, is they're just not making the coffee. They're making it look like they are like they're coffees to make. And there's like one person.
Yeah. I think these guys really, even Cameron Payne, I think they both know there's a lot on them going into the playoffs, and they have to prove themselves. They just can't handle it. I'm not saying they're not tough dudes that can't handle themselves in life. They've done a great job. They made it to the NBA. Hell yeah, dude. Great job. But just being lights, camera, action when you're out there and you're playing now with Kevin Durant and this championship or bust every season, these guys just, you can tell they can't handle that part of it. They can't handle them being themselves and just getting into their own situation on the court and just being their own player. They just can't do that. Like, they're just trying to be too much, and that's getting them in a lot of trouble with Monty and also with the fans. Like, we can see it. We can see, like, when you're just crazy out there and you don't want to just settle down into your own position and what you want to do out there on the court, we can see it's getting a little crazy, and you need to just not play a couple games, please.
And you look at like Terrence Ross, right? Because essentially Terrence Ross has taken the minutes vacated by Landry Shamet. And there's a smoothness to a game. There's a lack of frenetic play that you don't feel nervous when he's out there, because you're like, oh shit, is he gonna shoot? It's like, and you're right. And I mean, do you see that from Terrence Ross? Because I don't see it.
No, the thing is with Terrence, when he first came in, he was doing too much with the ball. Right now, though, he's settled down, and now tonight, 0 for 2?
Yeah, has he scored a point in like a week, by the way?
I don't know, but that's the thing. He got so hot for so long. Like, he was hot for like a week there for 3 straight games and carried us to a couple of victories where we're like, oh, this is more than we thought we were going to get. So I think that's kind of running off now, and now he's kind of like settling back into who he should be off the bench, and then he'll come around with like the 10 to 15 point games like we need to help winning games. It's going to take a little while, and that's why he gets a little bit of a leeway from us, I feel like, with these games where he's 0 for. Did he score a bucket last game? I thought he was 0 for last game too.
Like the last 3 games, I think he's 0 for now.
Yeah. So it's just, he'll get back into it, but I'm not worried about him because he's not doing too much. It's when Shamet and Cameron Payne are just turning the ball over, right? But Ross's defense is just as good as TJ Warren. So that's kind of bad. Shamet, you can be like, oh, the defense is great. Great defense.
It's not even great, though. It's not even great. He hustles, right? And
he's doing too much. And I'm like, oh, that guy's moving fast. He must be playing great defense. That's how I analyze the defensive end.
Well, so I always look at him like,
doing it right.
Is he playing good defense, or is he just an over hustler? And that's a hard, he's one of those over hustle guys, if you will.
Yeah.
Let's talk about DA real quick.
Watch.
So Deandre Ayton in this game was 8 for 12 from the field, had 19 points, had 11 rebounds, was 3 of 4 also from the free throw line. Really liked what I saw from DA in this game. I'm interested to hear what your thoughts are, but I thought that he was playing more patient, and I thought he was playing more physical. He was going into the defender's chest. Now, he's still kind of falling away on the shots, but at least he's not taking the ball from 18 feet and just settling for the jumper. He put the ball on the floor a couple times, went to the defender's chest, and made it a 15-footer.
Yeah. And, he had that little, well, first of all, I wanted to say, how many times has he really gotten like a dunk on the, on the fast break? It's happened so many times now maybe like once a game, but that's a lot with KD on the team. Like, it's just so open down there where he's just running right down. Oh, there's DA. It's not even coming from just KD, but Booker found him today. And even like that stop and pop shot he has, like, and EJ's like, that's so difficult to do. It's like, you know what, Matthew? It is. DA is pretty awesome, and he was awesome tonight. And I think that the best part of tonight's game was these guys yelling at each other back and forth. There's some complications still with this team. They're not on the same page, but Booker and Kevin Durant even, like, DA, fucking use your feet or whatever he said out loud. It's like, you can hear it. It's like, good, get on this guy. And if he takes it the right way and he can listen and absorb everything that KD has to offer, even if he's upset on him on the court, that's going to go a long way for this team, man. I think KD is going to do a lot for DA, obviously, just in the way of him having all that room down there and just being open, and he can just get those easy dunks or lay-ins, whatever he tried to do in that easy lay-in that he almost blew. But other than that, I think KD's just going to help him by like just staying on top of him. Like, you have to, and KD's not afraid to do that. And DA should know by now, like, all right, these guys are going to be upset, but if I'm messing up, I have to know where I'm messing up and just listen. And next time I'll be there for these guys, because they're going to keep on top of them. Book and KD are just like tag teaming them sometimes, just getting them with the shit. Like, they're just yelling the crap. I love it. I think it's great. And it looks bad probably from us watching, but it's just the way that it is. It's the way the game is.
No, 100%. And I think that the openness that DA is continuing to experience is really being visible in that fourth quarter. I mean, he had 6 points of his 19 in the fourth quarter. And they're easy fucking points. And it's not the first time we've seen that. I mean, there was a few games ago in which Devin Booker DeAndre Ayton you don't feel like he's making much of an offensive impact. And then in that fourth quarter, because of the gravity, all of a sudden, like you said, like he's just wide open in transition. He's easy dunks. And the other thing that I respect about DA today is he let 2 flybys happen. Like, where he got the ball down there and he just like, he pump faked and like guys went like, whoo, flying by him. And then he went up and just like put it in instead of like,
he got better at that, right?
He's getting better at that.
He seems like
it's something that I've been doing on the playground since I was like 10, but he's just now getting it, which
he's
is
understanding
fantastic.
where guys are coming from and when to go up and they grab them. It's kind of like, damn it. Like, I want to finish on that one, but
well, it's like, and pump fake and let them go by. Cause like what he would do in the past is he would sit there, and granted, like, then we'll complain because he brings he would just sit there. He's like, and he just bring the ball down. And people are like, okay, we'll just swat at it.
Yeah, I forgot he would just, he did just sit there.
Yeah.
And just, yeah. Okay. I don't know why I thought that was so funny.
Yeah, it's because it's what he would
I
do,
just realized
man.
that. Yeah.
It's what he would do. So he's now, he's definitely going to be the person who's going to be clutch and benefiting. And we've seen it in the fourth quarter against these other teams in close games. He's the guy who's open down low because they have to cheat. And when you got this guy, you're cheating all day long.
Who the heck are you?
I'm Kevin Durant. You know who I am. Y'all know who I am.
Did anybody see a sniper? Did anybody see anything?
I'm one of the best players to ever play the game.
Kevin Durant in this game ends with 35 points, 13 of 21 from the field. Again, 21 shots to make 35 points. I love you, Kevin Durant. 3 of 7 from beyond the arc. All 3 of those, I believe, came in the fourth quarter. He was 3 of 4 from beyond the arc in the fourth alone. Had 5 rebounds, had 5 assists, a couple of blocks, a highlight block against SGA at the back end of the game. But when you talk about Kevin Durant, you saw his physicality. I kind of felt set the tone for DA because it was KD who was getting the ball 20 feet from the basket and was just backing down, going right into the chest of Jay Will, the young rookie from Arkansas for the Oklahoma City Thunder. He was adding tempo to the game. I mean, how fire does 3-5 look, man?
Oh, dude, it's insane. And I love like him talking to the fans too. You see it like almost every game where someone has a videotape. And he's just like, well, I thought you were telling me like you couldn't hear me at first. I was like, oh shit.
I was showing off my new headphones.
Yeah, he's just like, yeah. But he does it all the time. You can see it on the court, him just talking to guys. And I want to know, like, why fans, you just yell these obscenities at them like all the time. It doesn't make any sense to me. I was thinking about when he was doing that. Who is a baseball player that like pulled the guy, the Oakland A's? Did you see that one?
Anthony Rendon.
Yeah, Rendon pulled him, and he was just like,
he's like, you called me a bitch?
Yeah. See, I feel like fans and players should be able to do that stuff. Like, if you're calling someone a bitch or saying anything, like, go over there, talk to him, be like, wait, what did you say? Like, I love that because the fans are always like, oh, I didn't say
that.
But the opportunities he gives DA down low is just, it's endless. I've never seen DA in these spots. I think the one where KD, my favorite part is when KD has like the back down, top of the key, wherever he's at. And I think the best part is him turning around. He's just taller than, of course, everybody, so he can hold the ball over anybody like they're his little brother. And he waits to see if anybody can cut across, right? And DA came across once. He hit him, tried to hit him for the alley-oop, but I don't know if it was DA not getting to it in time or just a bad pass, but those are just opportunities that KD's always going to look for before he gets a shot off, because he can get that shot off over anybody. But I love seeing that. I was like, oh, that's something I've never seen. DA's just having a field day down there, man. So
it's those wraparound.
If he can handle the ball down there, if he can handle it and just continue to finish and not just stand there and continue to pump fake, it's gonna be there's gonna be a lot of points for him every game, dude.
It's those wraparound passes that he has too. That, I mean, I've watched KD for years, and when you watch it with regularity, you have a better appreciation. Where it's like he has the ball up on the left, and then he like brings it all the way down and around, and like uses it as a wraparound pass. So it's like, instead of resetting himself to get to a shooting motion, he just continues the motion and passes it. And it 9 times out of 10, he's finding somebody wide open for it. So
it's crazy. I
mean, and I'll continue to say this, man. That 3-5 looks so good on even our shittiest of jerseys, and I don't think. Or I think it's got 4 games left. We play the Spurs on Tuesday, and then we play who do we play after that? Denver?
Is it Denver? And then
I think the Denver game is going to be the game in which they wear the black jerseys. Like, we haven't seen him wear one of those black jerseys yet.
Oh my god, yeah.
Hasn't happened yet. We saw all the promo stuff for KD.
It's all playoffs. Playoffs are going to be all black jerseys, though.
Those black jerseys are sick, by the way.
Yeah.
Those are badass.
Yeah, there's the best ones we have for sure.
I think I agree. Other than the throwbacks, I mean, the throwbacks win.
Oh yeah. Whoops.
But it just looks. Yeah, this is your first time.
Sometimes it sounds like I never watched
this is your first time. Hey Matthew, I got a quick trivia question for you.
You know what time it is.
Trivia time.
All right, so Suns win 128-118. How many points did Devin Booker score in the fourth quarter?
Did he have 0?
He had a total of 0.
Big Dick Booker.
So Booker only attempted 14 shots in this game. He was 8 of 14. He had 22 points. He had 10 assists, so a 22 and 10 from Devin Booker, 5 rebounds, and 0 points in the fourth quarter, and the Suns win. How does that feel?
It's good. It's good. He can bounce back, obviously. Tonight was just a tough game for him. The physicality just really bothers him. The shots he was making late in the game, or not late in the game, in the third quarter, they were difficult shots. Getting to the line, and then he hit that really ridiculous, like, one-hander that just nothing but net. But that's how he has to score in these type of games. It has to be ridiculous looking shots that just are automatic. Otherwise, he struggles. I'm not worried about, a few games. Last game, he wasn't too good, right? I obviously didn't really watch last game, but did he not have a good game last game?
Was
it
fine.
all right?
Yeah,
was it okay? I thought some people was saying that it wasn't that good.
It was him and KD. I mean, KD had 30. He had 27. I mean, of the 100 points, they carried the team to a victory. So
I love KD with the ball at the end of the games too. I mean, that's all I want to see. But I put down that difficult shots I put down, and then also just like the cross court passes. What is that? Was he doing? How many times did he do that tonight? Where he's just trying
to 2 or 3, I think.
Yeah, I was like, what are you doing, dude? Like, those things, I'm like, you never complete those passes. But a few things that kind of ticked me off with him tonight, but I'm not worried about him going forward. So, obviously.
Next question: how many field goal attempts did he have in the fourth quarter?
5.
0.
I was going to say 0, but I'm like, why would it be 0 again?
0. So the point I'm making here is, how fucking awesome is this? That Devin Booker has to shoot 0 points or 0 field goal attempts, make 0 points, and the Phoenix Suns outscore the opposition in the final quarter 30-29. I noticed it. So let's start at the beginning. Headband Booker was back tonight. And I just want to take a moment to recognize that Devin Booker is quite possibly one of the best human players in the NBA today. There was another one of those things, and I know a bunch of guys do it, and we saw it, or we see it all the time with Devin Booker. But there was a kid sitting, in the stands beforehand. He's wearing his Devin Booker jersey. He's got to sign up. It's my 10th birthday. Devin Booker goes and gives him a high five, sits with him, gets a picture taken with him. I love seeing that stuff. And Devin Booker is just one of those guys who is just a quality guy. And then he comes out rocking the headband, which some people like some people don't. I thought it was
What's
fine.
the purpose of it though? Like, why does he do it some games? Are his horns growing in or something from the Kardashian curse still? Like he has to wear them?
Protecting that headline, man. I was also thinking, like, how cool is it to have the last name Booker? It seems like B works with everything. We're like Big Dick Booker, like that's got alliteration. Like Head Band Booker, like that's got alliteration. Like, why does my last name have to start with a V? There's nothing that you can do from an alliteration standpoint that makes sense with a V. You're like voluptuous Voida. I'm like, are you calling me fat?
What about what about L, dude? You know,
Yeah, well, I
big
mean,
weenie.
well, you're L Lissy. I mean, you got a lot of L's there, and then
Mm.
Lissy rhymes with other words.
Yeah, it's
So,
not good. I didn't like Booker though. When he came into the league, like I hated the last name, but now it
Booker?
works. Book is cool. I never liked Booker.
Vapor Voida from Banff.
Yeah,
See, it's like
he was a vapor. Weren't you a vapor?
no, never.
Hmm.
I used to smoke.
Just
Then I
made
quit
that up.
smoking. I never went to the vapes.
Hmm.
Francisco Virgin Voida, Vicious Voida. Like, yeah, I appreciate you guys trying. You know, but right
Veiny
from the
Voida?
start, what's that?
Someone put veiny Voida.
Veiny
Francisco.
Voida.
Yeah.
Veiny Voida. You fuckers. But right from the jump, I mean, they were literally double teaming Devin Booker in the backcourt from the jump of this game. Like they made no attempts to hide what their game plan was. Like, we're just going to double team Booker every chance we can. So he turned into a distributor in this game, a 22-10 game. That's fantastic. On 14 shots. That's a great game from Devin Booker. He controlled the offense. When the opposition was trying to double team him, he made the right decisions. Yeah. How many turnovers did he have in this game?
2
turnovers.
One
turnover.
Oh wait, no, that was the first half.
5.
Sorry, I don't know.
He had
5? Because I saw 1. I'm like, wait, 1, and that was
my cross court
passes.
Cross court passes.
Yeah, I was like, cross court passes were zooming by like at least 3 times. I thought.
Long Lissy. Yeah, I really thought it was a good game. And you look at how Kevin Durant was playing and how productive he was, it meant that Devin Booker got more leeway and more time to sit on the bench. I mean, there were 6 minutes left in the second quarter when he finally came back. In the fourth quarter, he came back with about 6 minutes again. And it's just like, wow, man. Like, wow. It's fucking fantastic that he can take that much time off. Like, remember just a month and a half ago, before the Kevin Durant trade, how we're sitting there and we're just like, Jesus, dude, Devin's going to have to play every fucking minute. If we stand
Yeah, we did say that.
We can help him.
Yeah.
And now, he played in this game 37 minutes, which is a ton, but the way that Monty could stagger him, it worked out fantastically.
Yeah, and like he's calmed down too, I feel like, too, on the court. Well, at the end of the third quarter, he wasn't calmed down. He's yelling at his teammates for like trying to get the 2 for 1, and they fucked it all up. Which I like to see that. I like to see him being more vocal with the guys.
Mm-hmm.
But he's calmed down in certain situations. The double team thing obviously isn't a thing, ending games. And I think the way he's going to play going forward, it's going to be, you'll have a few of these games, but I think he's going to be able to take over in a lot of situations. But I said earlier, with the difficult shots, he's so good when he can make those, but they don't have to be as difficult anymore. And he has to realize like when to pass it up. And I think he is. Yes. And it's like, who else can come in here like KD and play next to another superstar like Book, and it just works? Like, I mean, like, who else would KD be able to do that with in the league?
Everybody in the play. Everybody in the league. I'm sorry. Everybody in the
league, you think?
Yeah, with Kevin Durant, yes. I truly believe that.
But you think Booker can do that too? I think Booker can do the opposite, right? Like, he can go in and play anywhere too, right?
I think so too. And it's because they're efficient guys. They're not like, if it was Luka Doncic or anybody, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just said Luka because I was watching part of the Mavs game, I guess, today, and I thought the same thing.
They lost again, right?
Oh, yeah. JaVale McGee was big in that game. That's how you know you fucking suck. If JaVale McGee is the one who's like changed the momentum in the game for you, you're like, holy shit. But there's a lot of players who are volume type players. They need the ball all the time. SGA, he'd be somebody who you couldn't just plug and play on another team because of his usage rate and the way that he attacks the rim. Whereas Devin Booker and Kevin Durant are spot up shooters. They're highly efficient spot up shooters. So it's like, listen, I don't need a ton of touches to be successful in this game. Again, he only shot the ball 14 times in this game. The team scored 128 points.
How many free throws did he get? Oh, he's 5 for 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
So even that, it's not a ton. Had he got to the line a little bit more, perhaps that would have increased that overall point total, but he wasn't even attacking in this game, nor did he need to.
Dude, and even like in the first half, he only had the 2 assists, and then, he had the, was it 15 points in the first half?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then he only scored 7 more, and then he has the 8 assists.
7 and 8, yeah.
Pretty good stuff there, Book.
Pretty good stuff, Book.
Biz. Biz.
Oh my God. Bismack Biyombo, 15 minutes played. He only had 3 points. He had 6 rebounds. The reason I bring him up, because I think that it is time to understand and recognize that Josh Landale is a distant memory. And it's because
you're going to bring that up.
Efforts that Bismack Biyombo plays with. Pure and simple. Busy tonight, another block. He's a +9, which led all players on the team, specifically the bench. And when you have the offensive firepower that the Suns have now, when you have Kevin Durant coming out and playing on the second quarter with Bismack Biyombo, and Chris Paul was playing out there as well, and you're going to stagger those minutes accordingly, you don't need Jock Landale. Jock Landale's primary purpose was to provide some semblance of offense with that second team unit. That doesn't need to happen. You need some second team defense, and that's what Busy gives you. So for all of those who cut their hair to look like Jock Landale, and you're planning on going to the playoffs with your Jock haircuts, and you're going to wear your sunglasses and kind of look like Logan Paul out there, I'm sorry. You should just end up shaving your head, because he's not going to get a lot of minutes either. R.I.P. Jock. Suck my Jock.
I don't know. I think he will. I think Kevin Durant misses him.
They had one game where he hit him up a bunch.
Yeah, I know, but there's certain times this year where Jock just looks so good with that second team.
But does he look good defensively? No,
not at all.
Offensively. We don't need him offensively.
I know.
It's a tough moment. Just absorb.
Busy. No, I'm good. I think Busy, he'll have his games where he just can't play or get in foul trouble. We'll see Jock a few times. But I'm not worried too, because I love Busy. I love him. Sometimes when Ayton's out there, I'm like, is Busy going to be in soon? I'm just joking, but not tonight. No, I love what Busy brings, obviously. It's a good problem to have. It really is. I mean, even if Jock was our backup center, I know a lot of people don't like him. I still kind of like him just because of the effort. And he does foul too much.
I'm good. I'm good. I think
like
Busy.
Jock, you'll have a big game in the playoffs. We're like, fuck yeah.
Aussie.
I was off the couch tonight, dude. I was off the couch, KD. Like, usually Ayton gets me off the couch because of his dunks and when he starts to dunk the ball.
Yeah.
KD tonight, though, that block. I was like, oh my God, dude.
Dude, KD.
He's just like, screaming at it. After it, I was like, this is what dreams are made of. What?
It's what dreams may come. What dreams may come. It's a really good movie. It's a really good movie. Let's see. So here's something I wrote down in my notes, and then I started to go down a rabbit hole, and I realized I'm a fucking idiot. So we should have a segment called "John's a fucking idiot." Idiot. Q3 Suns. So you take a look, and the Suns were up pretty big at halftime, and the third quarter happened, and they were outscored 34-29 in the third quarter. And I felt like that's kind of a recent trend recently for the Phoenix Suns, in which the third quarter has just been a down quarter for the team. They give up a bunch of points. We saw it against Sacramento not too long ago, where Sacktown came out after the Suns were pretty much in control, and then they just right off a cliff. And then I started to look into some statistics, and so here's some statistics over the last 10 games, not including tonight. The Phoenix Suns in the third quarter score 33 points a game. That's first in the league. The Phoenix Suns in the third quarter of the last 10 games are a plus 4.7. That's first in the league. And the Phoenix Suns in the last 10 games in the third quarter commit 2.3 turnovers per game. That's least in the league. So I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Well, I would have said the same thing.
It's what it feels like, though, right?
Yeah, what I think it is you have Kevin Durant, and you go into these halves, you're just like, wow, like we're going to win, right? And that really hasn't been the case this year. And I think the Suns have they've had to come out in the third quarter and play really hard to get back into games. Or, I mean, first and third quarter book isn't really a thing this year at all. That was last year.
Mm-hmm.
But just them having to come out and really fight for these wins, maybe that's something to do with it. But I think it's just thinking like, hey, we got KD kind of. I think that might be part of it. Seriously.
Maybe it is. Yeah, you might be right because against Sacramento, obviously Kevin Durant wasn't back, and over the last 10 games, Kevin Durant has been back for just 3 of them, and only 2 of the ones that I counted. But in this third quarter, I mean the Oklahoma City Thunder were 14 of 17 from the line. It's just another one of those games where you're just like, shit, man. But again, to the Suns' credit, they scored 29 points to the Thunder's 17 because they had 17 from the line and 17 otherwise. So they were able to maintain, but having Kevin Durant obviously is a max fix for everything. So I don't know. I thought it was an interesting little rabbit hole I was going down there. Speaking of rabbit holes, are you happy that I added you to like our Suns fodder?
Yeah, no, it's nice. I'll look on it once in a while. It's like there's already 20 messages. I'm like, I'll get
literally what's happening right now.
I'll get the next round. I'll get the next round.
All they're doing is just like talking the whole time. Like,
yeah, it's nice to be included. I'm not really a replier, so
I just say
once in a while.
I need a drop. What should we do? What we got to talk about? You want to talk about the subreddit? The Suns Jam Session subreddit stakeout. All right, Jamsters. It looks like Matthew was hanging out with a big old fat nose with a wart on it in Oklahoma City. So what were they saying on the Thunder subreddit tonight, Matthew?
Oh, boy. Let me find that. All right. So the reffing. How am I reading the subreddit and they're giving us the Suns shit about the calls? And even like the reaction of the crowd when they're watching replays on fouls. I'm like, you guys, are you serious right now? I don't know.
Seriously. So I don't know, but just so for those of you who didn't watch the game, the free throw disparity, it was 41 free throws for the Oklahoma City Thunder to 28 for the Suns. From a foul standpoint, it was the Suns committed 30, Oklahoma City committed 23. And 30 ties for the second most fouls committed in a game. We've committed 31 twice. And 41 is, I think, third this season in total free throws given up. So if you liked free throws, you loved the third quarter because it was
terrible.
And so they were bitching about it. They were bitching about all the calls they were getting.
Yeah, they said, they should put the refs and the Suns coach on the kiss cam if they're going to be in bed together. In bed together.
Mean?
Yeah, how are they in bed?
Possible?
But it was nonstop. There was a bunch of ref shit. They said, bad news, but we may never win another game this season. The Mavs, our good news is the Mavs never will either. So they lost today. So they're watching. I'm like, wait, why are they watching the Mavs? I'm like, oh yeah, duh.
Yeah.
Get Giddey off the goddamn floor. Interesting with Giddey because he's like a fan favorite, but also like a lot of them do not like him. Like a lot of them think that he does waste a lot of energy out there.
He does.
And isn't the greatest player. So I'm just like, okay, maybe. Obviously I don't watch him too much. My friend's a big fan of his. His wife hates him. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's split right down the middle.
Well, so you look at Giddey tonight, 35 minutes played. He had 16 points. He was 5 of 16 from the floor.
His 3-point shot, worse than Jock's?
It's not good. He was 2 for 7 from deep. He had 8 assists. He had 9 rebounds. So the thing about Josh Giddey is moving forward as he grows and he develops a jumper, like he's going to be a good player because he's got all the other fundamentals down. But that it's going to be painful for him to get there because it is an ugly shot. And he just does so much. It's like
it rolls off so weird. I don't know.
He shoots from like the hip.
Yeah,
shoots from like down here.
It's like it rolls off the back of his hand or something when he releases a 3. It's really strange.
He's like
It's like he's doing some kind of Tai Chi or something.
Yeah, he's like a waiter who's bringing out a server jack in a tray. He's like,
I'd never be able to carry. I don't know how you guys carry those things.
It's all in the fingers.
Is it
fingers?
Yep. Fingers. Okay.
Get Giddey off the goddamn floor. Let me predict the next one. Get Giddey off the goddamn floor.
Oh man, the one says, "I hope Durant plays poorly." Are you like that's going to be a thing for every fan base? I hope KD plays poorly. Not a chance. His first game back after his second injury, yes. Other than that, he's been great. Aaron Wiggins is going to be in the NBA for a very long time. Everyone loves him very much.
Really? So let me look at Wiggins' stats real quick. So Wiggins,
A-Dub. Call him A-Dub, dude.
22 minutes. He had 14 points in 22 minutes off the bench, 5-8 from the field. Yeah, I can see that being something that you really, really like.
Yeah, and then I said, we will be at the game tonight. My fiance's birthday present to me. Send good vibes for my birthday dub. Someone says, when we win, it'll all be your fault. I don't know if they want to lose. I don't think they want to lose, right?
Maybe they just don't have a good sense of humor in OKC.
I guess not. And then this one, they said, get Giddy off the goddamn floor. That's about it.
The Suns Jam Session subreddit stakeout.
So Thomas Bell in the chat. John, I'm usually a fan of your hats, but the one you have on is rough. I kind of like this one. I don't know. It's got the trucker.
Have you not worn that one before?
I don't wear it very often because it's like of my 20 Suns hats. It's like
well, it's
number
probably the lights
19.
flashing off of it. You can't really, or is it just like that?
It says Suns. I don't know.
Oh.
I saw it. I liked it. I got it from Just Sports. I used promo code Suns Jam and got 15% off. So, you know, what can I
That's
say?
not very nice, Thomas. Come on.
No, yeah. Thomas has got it right. He says, "Ha, dad hat." Yeah, respect, Thomas. I agree. It's definitely a dad hat.
You know, my niece said, she's like, "You're a dad." I'm like, "Oh, am I?" She's like, "Yeah, you're a big dad." I'm like, "Oh, am I?" She's like, "Yeah, you're a big fat dad." I'm like, "Okay, stop there. All right, let's stop saying stuff."
You're like, I'm none of the above. You were just like,
I was like, okay.
Yeah, you're like, geez, I hope you get the.
She's like, you got a Dario
Saric
Saric body, dad.
Whoa. What else you got in your notes?
Rebounding just seemed like it was hard in the third quarter that they for the Suns to grab, prevent the second chance opportunity for the Thunder.
Fair.
It was like, is anybody down there? But it just seemed like OKC was down in the right spots, and then like the long rebounds were happening a lot. But Paul too hitting big shots tonight, right? I give him a lot of shit sometimes, but he hit some difficult shots, even the three. Towards the end of the game, in the fourth quarter. So
he's earned it.
The point guard.
He was cheered by the Thunder faithful. He then came out, played 32 minutes. Was only 5 of 9 from the field, but had 16 points, had 8 assists, had a steal. And as Matthew mentioned, big shots, tough shots. In the fourth quarter, he was 3 of 4 in the fourth with 8 points. So we talk about Devin Booker getting 0 points in the fourth. It was Chris Paul who ultimately was getting those points. And again, these are the things that we can expect to see moving forward in our last 4 games and into the playoffs is by the end of the fourth quarter, or by the end of the game, that is, the opposition is going to be so mentally tired from trying to cover Kevin Durant and Devin Booker that they're going to try to sneak and steal where they can and sag off where they can. And Chris Paul will take advantage of you any chance he can. What do you think about the play where he let the ball come in bounds and he just let it sit there for 20 seconds with 5 minutes?
That was awesome. Yeah.
Fucking gangster.
I've seen other people do it in the league, and I'm like, wait, it seems like a Chris Paul thing to do. And he finally did it. I'm sure he does it other times, but this is the first time I've seen it live, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, I was a fan of that. I was like, it's about time. It's about time. Like all those times of him letting the thing roll up, it finally worked in our favor.
Yeah. Perfect ball placement. Who inbounded that? Who was that? It was perfect.
I don't remember. I'll just give it to DA.
Jam star of the game.
So a reminder, hit the sky right here. And let us know in the chat who your Jan star of the game is. Matthew, who's your Jan star of the game?
KD, from now and forever.
Always and forever. Kevin Durant, it will be. Yeah, it's KD, man. It's
35 easy.
35 easy money sniper. That's why when I do the drop, I've got that one section of our drop where it's like, has anybody seen a sniper? Do you know what movie that's from?
Is it Jack Paul Ryan, or what was that one? Saving Private Ryan?
Nope.
Wow. Is it Band of Brothers?
Nope. That's not a movie.
Yeah, I know, but I thought
I'll play it for everybody one more time. I know the faithful have seen it, but who can tell me in the chat what movie this is?
Who the heck are you?
Yeah, I'm Kevin Durant. You know who I am. Y'all know who I am.
Did anybody see a sniper? Did anybody see anything?
I'm one of the best players to ever play the game.
That's right,
Is it
Tom.
Full Metal Jacket?
Yeah, it's Full Metal Jacket, man.
Oh, I've seen that movie a couple times. I don't remember.
Yeah. Has anybody seen a sniper? Has anybody seen anything? But that's what he was. Easy money sniper tonight. 35 points. Looked absolutely fantastic. So next up for the Phoenix Suns, we play the San Antonio Spurs. I don't know if we even need to talk about that. So let's talk about our thoughts.
Brains?
So obviously right now you have the Denver Nuggets are playing the Golden State Warriors as we're recording this live. Golden State, a team that is 9-29 on the year on the road, is currently down 7 points with 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter. That is kind of a big game. Every game, the fun thing about this last week, Matthew, is every game is big. Like, I love watching the standings, the scoreboards. You know, the Phoenix Suns with this win are now 2 games above the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors lose this game. They have a tied record with the Los Angeles Clippers, and I'm not sure exactly what the tiebreaker is. If it's division record, then Golden State drops to 6. So I'll start with this question. Who would you rather face in the first round, the Clippers or the Warriors?
I would say Clippers, but the only thing is, like, if the Warriors are missed by us and they end up playing the Kings somehow and they do win, I would rather play the Warriors in the second round than we had to play them in the final in the Western Conference.
The only way we would catch the Clippers or the Warriors is in the
could I finish
the Western Conference Finals, not the second round. You dipshit.
I wasn't going to say the second round. I was going to say
you just said
I would rather them. No, I didn't.
I'd rather play them in the finals. Yeah, okay.
No, I would rather play them in the first round if we had to play them ever. I don't want them to get heated up. I don't care. You guys say what you want against the Warriors.
Bingo.
If the Warriors get rolling, dude, I don't want to see that. But obviously, I would play the Clippers over the Warriors. But right now, I would play the Warriors over the Clippers. So I hope that helps you out. None of that
It helps me so much. That helps me so much. I'm with you. If we were to play the Warriors, it would be in a Western Conference Finals matchup. So that means that they would have to start get rolling. And a team that has looked horrible on the road would have to have some confident building road victories to get to that point. I wouldn't mind taking on the Warriors in the first round or the Clippers. I really wouldn't. Like, preferred probably the Clippers, given the fact that Paul George might not be healthy enough to play. Obviously, it's like Anthony Davis a couple years ago when we played the Lakers. He wasn't necessarily healthy enough to play. He tried. He got injured again. We won the series in 6. Against the Clippers, it would kind of be the same thing, but I feel like the Clippers are a team that is deep, and they have a lot of wing depth, and they have some physicality to them that could disrupt the Phoenix Suns. The Warriors, greedily, I would like to play because I'm pretty sure we could beat them. I mean, didn't we beat them every time we played in the season but once, I think? I think that's correct. I think we're 3-1 against the Warriors this year. And I'm not going to lie, it'll do pretty good things for our viewership because everybody would come here after every game, including all their Warrior fans.
Oh, yeah. We're talking money. We're talking big time. We're talking,
man.
We want the Warriors.
$3 an episode, homie. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know? But at the same time, like, it's fun when you play the Warriors because for some reason, when they win games, they don't like to hang out and talk to each other about their wins. They like to go to the opposition's page and tell us how we're pieces of shit and that they've got 4 rings. Like, it's literally a fan base of Klay Thompsons walking around, like, holding up 4 fingers at all time. And it'd be nice to put them out like a cigarette. So it'd be good for the Kevin. Though. Yeah.
Overall, I would just take the Clippers. Just
the Clippers are the desire opponent. But of course, I'm in the process of just trying to talk myself into both.
But dude, are they?
I have to.
Are these teams? Are they just tanking to play the Kings though?
They might be.
I would say. I mean, why wouldn't they?
And go for that, man. The Kings. I know that.
Yeah, after this season, they're gonna be like, "Yeah, we were tanking. We wanted to play the Kings, and the Kings will beat them." And be like, "Oh, whoops."
Yep, exactly.
I hope so.
Go for that. Go for that. Jamsters, we're going to ask you to ask us any questions. We've hit that point of the pod where there's a few minutes left and there's not much left to talk about. So this is our Jamsters React segment. If you have any questions that you'd like to ask me and Matthew, go ahead and type in the chat and we'll do our best to answer them.
Jamsters react.
Crazy Luigi. What about Lakers in the first round? Lakers would have to like win out, I believe, and other team like a lot of things. Well, okay, so the Lakers are. Well, I didn't realize that they're in the 7th
they're
seed
right
right
there.
now.
Yeah.
So the Lakers are currently 2 games behind the Golden State Warriors for the 5th seed. I would love the Lakers in the first round.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm not. The way that AD keeps going down still, that's the only thing. If he was healthy, he'd be like, no, I don't want it. I think they have a good surrounding group there. LeBron coming back, and now he's like, oh, I'm turning on the Jets. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to play. I'm all healed up. I'm going to lead this team to a championship. And then I could just see what we did to the Lakers that 1 year, 2 years ago, where it's just like walking off the court early. So I want that again for sure.
Yeah, I would definitely sign up for that and try to go to that game as well. Let's see. Francisco, who wins in a fight between you two? I think that's easy.
Whose back goes out first?
Mine. So it's easily you. Like I'm physically compromised. I
don't know, dude. I was putting together a lot of furniture last night, and I woke up this morning like I was like in a wrestling match. Like I was like stiff walking.
That was me after playing golf last week.
Oh
like,
yeah,
I woke up after playing golf.
2 days later, the day right after.
The day right after, I was just like, oh man, I am sore. Now, if we had weapons involved, it would definitely be me because I'm definitely a lot more strategic with weapons. In fact, I am. I'll never forget in basic training, right? They got this thing called the pugils, where it's essentially like you're holding a big Q-tip, right? It's got like rubber shit on the end. And we were doing platoon versus platoon, and our platoon had more people than the opposing platoon. So you wear a football helmet, like, you try to knock each other down or whatever. And obviously being Voida, I'm at the end of the alphabet, and they ran out of dudes on the other platoon. So I'd end up fighting my roommate, and not even my roommate, like my bunkmate. They're like, all right, you two are at the end of the alphabet, so you guys go against each other. And I'll never forget, like I swung through, I hit him in the face, and I came up and I got him right here, and I just knocked the dude out cold.
Must have felt good, huh?
Oh man, it was just like everybody was like, dude, how'd you knock out your roommate? You're such a dick. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Let him knock me out?
Yeah.
Matthew Joyce Entertainment. Do you think SGA would be a good fit for the Suns in the near future? Well, yeah.
Oh hell yeah, dude. Him and Mikal when Mikal comes back.
When they all come back.
Around the same year they'll be back. They'll be here.
Are you guys any good at playing basketball? Have you seen our DraftKings promos back in the day when we used to have DraftKings as a sponsor?
I'm not bad. I'm like DA, where like I have the size, but I'm really soft. So maybe I give him such a hard time. It's like I played my friend David a weekend ago, and I was sore, of course, after, but whooped my ass. He did. He always does. Blocking my shit. I'm so soft down there, dude.
Matthew, whenever I play against him, he's just like DA. He's just unengaged the whole time.
Yeah.
You throw him the ball and you're like, fucking dunk it. And he just doesn't.
Actually, really when I play like team ball, like Y before, I wasn't too bad, but I'm not as good as those other guys for sure.
Yeah. And I'm just not good. Like I love basketball. I'm just not any good at it. Ollie Woe on the poster behind you, who's next to Booker on the right, facing poster right? Steve Nash? Is that the question? Paul Westphal? Is that the question? Charles Barkley? Then over in the corner there's nobody. So I hope I answered that question to the best of my ability. This is a good question. Who'd be the best competition to tire out Denver in the first round? So essentially, who would you like to see at the 8 seed? I would like to see the Pelicans or the Timberwolves, either one of those teams, just because they have size on the interior, which goes against Jokic, right? I mean, you have to try to, tire him out, quote unquote. You know that he'll just pick you apart and whatnot. But I'd say Timberwolves. Let's go Timberwolves.
Yeah, I could say that. Even the Thunder. Just the sheer energy that team has, they just don't have the size though. But
yeah, they don't.
I think Pelicans for sure. It's Wolves.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll see. That's gonna be the fun part. April 11th is the play-in game, so that it's gonna be nice because we'll have a week where we're just gonna kind of like watch basketball. So,
what?
John Doe, if you could only keep one non-starter from this team on the Suns next season, who would it be?
Oh,
Busy. One non-starter. Busy? No. There's no wrong answer. That's
who else would it be? Who am I forgetting?
I don't know. Terrence Ross, TJ.
Those guys are. I would love to have TJ.
They're expendable. Campaign's not it.
I'm just gonna go Busy, dude. Or I like Craig too, but
yeah, I don't know. So we had a lot of turnover in the offseason. That's a good
Like
question,
always.
John Doe. I don't know if I
Yeah.
could like answer that. Like, I think maybe Ross. I don't know.
Busy or Craig, but busy.
Yeah. Jock Landale. Ish Wainwright. How about that? I think on that note, I think we'll go ahead and get out of here. It's already been an hour. This has been a quick
yeah, it's getting late.
answer. So it's now 7:30. It's almost time for bed. In fact, I got to do laundry and write an article for brightsideofthesun.com. So make sure you guys tune in tomorrow morning to brightsideofthesun.com for the Center of the Sun weekly update authored by yours truly. Make sure you follow the show at Suns Jam on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. You can follow me at Darth Void. You can follow Matthew.
I'm at Lizzie.
And we'll see you against those Spurs, those pesky little Spurskis on Tuesday. So we'll see you then, guys.
Yeah, go home and love your family.
All right, guys.